back, and thanks for Muhammad Ghed, our reporter from London. And I'd like to welcome our guest for today, Dr. Hamdi Muhammad Abdulaziz, the College of Languages and Translation lecturer or instructor at King Saud University. Welcome, Dr. Hamdi.
Thank you very much, Mara, for your kind invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And of course, we are very eager and enthusiastic to hear the poetry, but we have to talk a little bit at the beginning. I want to know, when did you start writing poetry, and when it was really something serious for you? As some people, they do write some poetry every now and then as a sort of a hobby, or just to put some of their feelings on papers. They could be relieved. But when did it take a turn that is really serious in your life?
Well, actually, the whole thing started when I was actually very young, like 10 or 11 years old. But as you're saying, it was just, a hobby, something you could actually do just to, get some of your emotions and feelings and put them on paper, okay? Just to get some of these feelings, written, and read them and actually go through what you have felt before. But then the whole thing actually became very much serious when I was an undergraduate student at the College of Education, the English department. And I remember at that time I was actually writing both in Arabic and in English, all right? So I started, to show this poetry to some of my teachers and my professors at the college, and they started to encourage me, say, well, you've got, some talent, you can actually develop it more, try to read more about poetry and prosody and things like that. So this would actually promote your talent and so on. So I started, taking the whole thing actually into a serious mood at that time, and I started to publish some of these poems actually in some local magazines, in Egypt.
When you were
when I was an undergraduate student, yeah. Okay, actually there were some magazines, some college magazines at that time, in Asyut University back home in Egypt. So I was usually a publisher in these magazines all the time. Like every now and then you publish something, so people start reading it, and they say, oh, that's good, keep it up. Okay. And I remember at that time, one of the people actually that encouraged me a lot was Dr. Salwa Said, my teacher at the college. Actually, she was teaching me methodology at that time, but she was at the same time she was so much interested in my poetic writings, and she used to read and give me her feedback and so on. So this is how it started. And later on, I started to feel that every simple situation I go through, I feel that I want to put it on paper. And you just get the feeling, Marwa, that writing poetry is a process of weaving, of weaving words and sentences together in an interesting way, in a beautiful way, that you, as a poet, and other readers actually enjoy. So the more you do it, the more you feel that you can't stop it. You want to do it more. It becomes some sort of addiction,
Yeah. Something that I guess that it is really difficult and it needs a huge talent is poetry. I guess any other thing could be obtained or acquainted by sort of practice, but poetry never. You should have this talent. Before you write a poetry, do you have an image or an imagination of the topic that you want to write about, and then how to start, how to end? Because there are standards of how you're going to write poetry. How do you see? First, do you see the picture, and then you try to translate it to words, or you try to pick up words that rhyme together?
Yes.
How do you initiate?
Well, of course, to write poetry, you have to read poetry first.
So that you can have a safe of words.
Yeah, that's it. Not just this, but you have to learn, the principles of writing poetry. And you learn these principles when you read a lot. You read a lot of poems written by different poets. And I was actually doing this both in Arabic and in English at the same time. But then, to me, I'm talking about myself here, to me, writing a piece of poetry was like some kind of birth, okay? It never happened in a day or a week. Sometimes it takes a whole month to write a short piece of poetry. You write it and you say it, you feel, the tone of it,
Yeah.
You taste it, okay, you say, no, I have to change that, I have to do this, I have to do that, okay. So till finally you become a little bit satisfied with what you've written. And when you are reading it again or writing it on the computer, what happens is that sometimes even when you're doing it, you change, right? Because it's something that has to do with your feelings, with your emotions, all right? So to write poetry, it's a very long process. It's a process that is time consuming, takes a lot of time, but it's at the same time it's very much enjoyable, right? You feel that you're putting words
For
together.
Who have the talent, of course.
Yeah,
enjoyable.
and you feel that it's a process where you're actually putting words together. Trying to make some words rhyme together, but you know, rhyming is not everything. Rhyming is one of the concepts. It's important, but still the meaning is also important.
It's the main thing that attracts people to poetry.
It is, but still, if you put a group of words together that rhyme together, and without meaning, right? You can say play, stay.
No.
Okay.
We're talking about sentences,
yeah,
of course, meaningful ones.
They have to be meaningful and they have to be related to the context and the situation.
Yeah.
And they must depict exactly the kind of feeling that you have. Because if they depict the feeling that you have, they're going to be strong, and they're going to affect people. If they do not depict, you know, the meaning. Sometimes you read a line of poetry and then you say, well, that word actually does not match very well. It's not very much interesting here.
It happened to all of us.
Yeah. So in this case you say, well, maybe this word actually does not depict the image at the time. So you have to revise it. You have to look at it again. All right? You have to create the feeling that made you write this piece of poetry. So you cannot change the word. It's not just to say, okay, that word is not nice, so throw it away and bring another one. It's not like this. Otherwise, people would feel that your poetry is, you know, it's a little bit cracky and it does not actually express very deep meanings.
Yeah. Dr. Hamdi, I guess it's time to hear a bit of your poetry. You'd like to start?
Yeah, actually, I would like to start with something I wrote for little kids.
Yeah.
It's a song for nursery kids, okay? And this song is mainly based on the teaching of numbers from 1 to 10. You know, Marwa, sometimes we just borrow some lyrics from the West, all right, just to give them to the kids, all right, when they are learning numbers. And sometimes some of these lyrics actually do not, you know, fit into our Arabic and Islamic culture.
Yeah.
So the kids learn the numbers, they are just repeating a song. They're just repeating a song.
Okay. It's something.
Yeah, they are repeating a song, but at the same time, this song is not, you know, related to their culture. So I will just start by the first song, okay, and it's for young kids.
Okay.
This is how it goes. 1, 2, 3. Do you love me? 3, 4, 5. Let's enjoy the life. 5, 6, 7. We will be in heaven. 7, 8, 9. Let the sun shine. 8, 9, 10. Here we go again. And then, you know, it goes on. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Do you love me? 3, 4, 5. Let's enjoy the life. 5, 6, 7. We will be in heaven. 7, 8, 9. Let the sun shine. 8, 9, and 10. Here we go again, and so on.
Yeah, I guess such a piece of poetry could also raise questions about heaven, what's heaven, and when we are going to go. So you can give a bit of idea to your children about heaven, and you should be obliged to piety and to the good teachings of Islam, to be a good worshipper, so that you can go to heaven later on. And
definitely, if you just look at the word heaven, for example, when we're saying it, let's enjoy the life, you're asking the kids to enjoy the life. Then, inshallah, by being Muslims and by doing, the right things, will be in heaven. And then you went, we will be in heaven.
Yeah.
You are putting some values into the children, actually.
Giving them a brief idea about something that it will mean a lot later on to them, but just giving them a small idea about it.
And here, body language and gestures play a very important role. Okay? I mean, 1, 2, 3. Do you love me?
Try to act when you're
okay. 3, 4, 5. Let's enjoy the life. When you do this, this is the life. Maybe they don't know exactly what the word life really means at the time, but let's enjoy the life. It rhymes with 5, for example.
Yes.
Okay, and so on.
Do you have any of these poetry, Dr. Hamdi, in schools, or did you provide them to teachers so that they can teach them?
Well, I haven't done this actually, but actually what happened is that I wrote a song for my kids, where they started to sing it at their school. Okay, and this song, actually, the title of it is called School and Life. Okay, so in this song I wanted to put as many values and meanings for the children as possible, motivating them to go to school, telling them that even if you have difficulties at the school, you have to defy